Hi, I'm Harvey Rifkin. I'm the chief cook and bottle washer at Industrial Asset Recyclers. And one of our claims to fame is that we're the biggest G-rated adult toy store in Benicia, if you like circuit breakers and pumps and chillers and cooling towers. Basically, we're industrial surplus dealers. Does everybody know what an industrial surplus dealer is? What we do is we buy and sell on consignment different industrial products, electrical, heating, ventilating, and air conditioning, industrial process equipment that's surplus to the operations of contractors, distributors, industrial plants. And we buy in Mexico, United States, and California, and we sell all over the world. And if you want it shipped to the moon and you want to pay, well, we'll send it there too. So basically, our mission is to resell usable components that can be reused again, okay? And things like machinery and circuit breaker, electrical distribution items, industrial automation items, things of that nature. So what we do is we basically offer a profit center to different businesses that have idle equipment so that they can turn their excess inventories and tooling and machinery into cash. And you'll see later down the line we do it in two different ways. So here's a little question. What's the most recycled material in the world? No. No. Steel. This is just some sustainability. I want to give you a little sustainability trivia here. You've probably heard a lot of it in the last few days. A lot of steel in the United States now is produced in smaller batches in electric furnaces as opposed to coke furnaces. So you say, well, you know, 43% of the electricity is produced by coal. So as we move away from coal and we use, you know, more natural gas and alternative energy, then this really helps to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by using electric furnaces for smaller batches of steel. This little chart here speaks for itself. You get an idea of the amount of recycling of different metals. You can see there's really drastic, like you were talking about recycling of copper. Recycled copper reduces energy consumption by 90% relative to mining raw copper, okay? So we use over 80 billion soft drink cans a year. That's incredible. Yeah. And we can see how much energy one can is equivalent to a half a gallon of gasoline or 1 kilowatt hour of electricity. We think of cans being a lot of the waste, but it only accounts from a standpoint of weight, only 1% of the total recyclable materials. You know? Yeah, it says recycling only requires 10% of the energy needed in extracting copper from mines. Now we are not in the scrap metal business, but as an adjunct to what we do, if we get like electrical panels, for example, that have like a lot of knockouts, a lot of holes in the panels, and they're not really resaleable, we'll strip out the copper bars, separate it from the steel, And then there's the plastic insulators, we separate that. So everything is pretty much 100% recycled. You know. Here's some information about glass. Glass has been recycled for quite a while. Stuff about newspapers. 250 million trees per year if all the newspaper could be recycled. Yeah, this is kind of a scary thing. Rainforests are cut down 100 acres per minute. Now, I don't know what the total rainforest capacity is, but I understand in South America or in the Amazon jungle, they've decimated at least a third to a half of the rainforest already. And the problem is people in third world countries. This is a primary means of economic activity to a lot of them. So it's everybody here probably knows about LEED. Okay, so I don't need to go into that. This gentleman here spoke about the LEED program, and what we do is we work with big contractors like Skyline Construction, DPR Construction, and they do large commercial and industrial projects, and a lot of them are LEED certified. So they get these projects get points for us certifying that we're recycling this reusable equipment from the projects. As people are becoming a lot more conscious about the economic and the ethical values of sustainability, a lot more tenants now want to, especially high-tech companies, want to move into LEED certified buildings. So LEED becomes a great marketing cachet for the building developer or investor. There's just a little chart of the amount of points, and as this gentleman had shown before, there was a chart, and you get so many points for the amount of water. You get so many points based on the site that you choose, the type of products that you use that are non-toxic, the amount of, if it's a rehab project, the amount of materials you're able to reuse in the site again without having to throw it into the landfill.
Color your roofing, insulation, water, electricity, solar.
Yeah, so here's the category. So depending on the site, has to do with the runoff, how much of the existing landscaping is destroyed and then replaced. Water efficiency, that speaks for itself. Materials and resources has to do with toxic elements of the materials. Are they able to be reused? Indoor and environmental quality, what the net contribution it has to the carbon footprint, and then just from a standpoint of usability and ergonomics, how efficient the design is. So major areas where one could get LEED credits are HVAC. HVAC consumes approximately 25% of all the electricity that's produced in the United States. So whatever can be done to affect more efficient use of HVAC components vis-a-vis energy management systems, more efficient chillers and cooling towers. So, like I said before, we work with contractors and distributors and industrial plants. And here's a typical case study. DPR, who's one of our ongoing clients, had a project in San Francisco, and we had fluorescent light fixtures that we wound up taking into place, storing them for them, and then they reused them, and then some of them we resold to a third party. Right? We had another project with where Autodesk bought probably over 100 recycled light fixtures that we got from the George Lucas project in San Francisco. We had 4 truck and trailer loads of all brand new materials: ceiling tiles, ventilators, light fixtures, partitions. That kind of speaks to the details of that project. About 4 years ago, we were contacted by Chipman Relocations, which is a franchisee of United Van Lines, and he said, we just bought this BP solar plant up in Fairfield, and there's a lot of electrical and mechanical infrastructure that was put in for the manufacturing of these panels, and it's taking up space and it has no value to us. So I said, well, what we can do is we can go in, we can remove all these materials, and then we'll move them to our warehouse, and then we resold them on a consignment basis, and they captured probably over $100,000 in revenue from bus duct and chillers and cooling towers and pumps. And we even took, at that time, they weren't using the solar panels on the roof. There were over 100 solar panels. And at that time, those solar panels were selling for $15 a watt. Now you can buy them for $1 or $2 a watt. We resold them. They were 120 watt panels. We resold them for $500 a piece, used panels. This is what they call a water-to-water chiller, okay? And what it does is it takes water in from an input circuit through a cooling tower, and the cooling tower basically cools water down by just dropping it over matter with a fan on the exterior. And then there's refrigeration. You have 4, in this case, reciprocating compressors like you have in a refrigerator. And then you have a heat exchanger down at the bottom, and that takes that chilled internal water and then re-chills external water that can go to air handling units to cool buildings, or they even use them in ice skating rinks. They drop the temperature way down. This is a cooling tower, and these are normally put on the roof or on the exterior of a building, and they work in conjunction with a water-to-water chiller. Now, they also have what they call air-to-water chillers, which are sort of like a refrigeration system with your refrigerator, and you have cooling coils, and it takes the air and it puts the heat back into the radiator, much like on your car. But these water-to-water chiller systems are more expensive, but they're also more efficient. This is a boiler unit that we removed, and then here's one of the 100 solar panels that we removed from the project. About 3 years ago, we got a call from a very big mechanical contractor in Southern California, and he says, we're moving 4 big chillers we're replacing on the roof of Pfizer down in South San Francisco. Can you have a truck down here in 2 weeks? So we facilitated all that. They had a crane. It was a 6-story building, and they dropped them right onto our trucks. And then I had them resold to a dealer in Texas. I didn't even bring them to my warehouse. Here's a picture of one of the of a chiller, and you can see the radiator coils, and then there's fans up at the top here, and it blows air through there, and that gets rid of the heat. Another client that we have is Electrical Services. They're an electrical contractor, and they do a lot of work for Safeway and Walmart. Well, Safeway and Walmart buy their own lighting fixtures, and sometimes they overorder or there's change orders. So these are fixtures that are just surplus to the projects. So we take those into our warehouse and sell them. This is an air handling unit that they use in clean rooms. We got this out of an HP plant up in Oregon. These are stainless steel water filters that are used in industrial process equipment in Silicon Valley. So this is kind of a summary of the benefits. You can turn your idle assets into cash, free up valuable storage space, and then we sell, because we are able to pick up the assets for pennies on the dollar a lot of times, we're able to resell them for 25 to 50% of the low wholesale price. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. This gets into more benefits. You save dumping and cartage fees. It's a new profit center. If it's a lead project, you get lead points. Keep materials out of the landfill. Save demolition and dismantling costs, and you feel good because you become a good corporate citizen. Pretty much what I've covered before. So we're able to tailor a custom liquidation solution to any owner's particular needs. So we deal with typical asset profiles. We sell heating and ventilating equipment, electrical distribution and mechanical distribution, automation controls, which are PLCs. They're little computer modules that are used to operate machines in industry, variable frequency drives which change speeds and help motors operate more efficiently. We have a large inventory of new lighting fixtures, and we're getting more into, we're going to have direct lines of also LED lighting. We're getting into that area. We also sell high-tech and biotech equipment, material handling equipment, and manufacturing and industrial process equipment. For example, we got 5 plastic injection molding machines from a company in Petaluma that was surplus to their operations, and I sold most of them to a company in Ecuador. We loaded them into a big container, and then they picked up the container and we shipped them to Ecuador. We also have bought, like JVC, who makes television sets and electronic equipment, because the labor was cheaper in Malaysia. They closed down their Maquiladora plant in Mexico, and they had a lot of surplus air compressors. They were 50 and 100 horsepower Ingersoll Rand compressors. We took those in and then resold those, and they were rotary oilless compressors, which are like state-of-the-art now. The original compressors were reciprocating, or the piston type. And we sell some metal and woodworking machinery. We had a metalworking shop up in Santa Rosa that was making motorcycle parts with CNC milling machines and lathes. We took those machines in and wound up reselling most of them to a subcontractor for Boeing in Wichita, Kansas. I don't like to feel like I'm part of the military-industrial complex, but sometimes I can't help myself. And here's some client profiles. this pretty much speaks for itself. We've had affiliations with some of these organizations. So we have a 15,000 square foot warehouse in Benicia near the Arsenal. All of our inventory is all computerized. We have numbered location. We have over 2,500 numbered locations where all the different merchandise sits. So when we go to ship an order, we know exactly where to find it. We have about over 7,500 positive feedbacks on eBay. We have probably over 10,000 buyers in our database. And we have an e-com store where we have over 5,000 products, and our goal is another year to have over 10,000. So what's happening now is we're being approached by small manufacturers who are looking for marketing horsepower and are looking for a direct internet venue, and they like what they see. So now we have 3 different lighting manufacturers that we represent, and then we have a line of biodegradable cutting fluids that they use in the metal cutting and stone cutting industry. So we've been selling that for about 3-4 years. So we're trying to balance the liquidation with ongoing continuing products, because one of the drawbacks with being a liquidator is we might get in 15 light fixtures and then it's gone, and we may not get the same thing in for 5 years if we get it in at all. So what we want to do is we want to have an ongoing line of well-priced products for our buyers, so they can keep coming back to us. This is old. I have to update my PowerPoint. But right now we have about 10,000 buyers. So that's pretty much it. Anybody have any questions?